Hello, everyone, and welcome to Set Stories podcast, where filmmakers get high, sort of, and talk about crazy set stories. I'm gonna say sort of because we're in a Zoom meeting right now. Obviously, we're not all together. Even though I miss my boys. My name is Hootie. Oh my God, Charles is already smoking.
Well, I smoke from peace pipe to blessed, to blessed. From peace pipe to blessed.
There you go. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, on his Gandalf-looking,
Plus in his webcam.
awesome pipe. Yeah. How are you guys doing, Jonathan and Charles? How are you?
Good.
Good,
Just
good,
waiting
good.
for the industry to open to back up.
I know I've been like dying to get back on set,
Yeah,
like really bad, but today's episode, I'm so excited, everybody, because we have my favorite person in the whole wide world with us, Sabrina Tercario. How are you? Oh my God. How are you? She's wearing our merch, guys.
I look amazing in this t-shirt.
But
You're the first person.
Yay.
I know you're our first guest on this season.
You are.
I feel very honored. Thank you
I
guys.
know,
so
I'm
much.
so happy to have you. Yeah, she's like a producer, AD. She does everything like me. She's a Joan of all trades, but she does it better than me. I think. Yeah,
Did you
do,
get trained by her, Hootie? Did you train Hootie?
I'm slowly learning. I'm like secretly like watching her, like taking notes on set. Because every time she's on set, like I see her name on the call sheet, I'm like, oh, this movie is gonna be great. It's not a shit show. It's gonna be amazing.
That's a great feeling.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know. Yeah. So Sabrina, tell us a little bit about yourself, like where you grew up, where are you now, what you do in the industry, what you want to do in the industry, which is kind of different, but yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you so much for having me here. I miss you guys. I miss Hootie. I miss Jonathan. Nice meeting you, Charles.
Always miss you.
Pleasure.
I see Sabrina.
So a little bit about my backstory. I grew up in Brazil, and I also have Italian citizenship. So imagine having the Italian tradition in Brazil. It's kind of like mixed feelings. So I know the samba, but on Christmas time we were eating lamb, so it was like really. And I look like I have this European look, but
you do, yeah.
Anyways, who knows? And back in Brazil, my major is in biomedicine. I spent almost 10 years of my life working with Chinese traditional medicine, and I was happy.
That's amazing.
Well, initially I became an actress because in 2010, at that time I was doing a lot of workshops for like 200 people, 300 people, and I was very shy. So my friend told me, why don't you do acting, so you have stage presence. And I just fell in love. I'm like, I gotta do this. And the reason why is because I love human behavior. I love to understand why people act the way they do. And when you're studying a character, you are analyzing the psychic behind. You are putting yourself in their place. And if you get that you're studying art and you think about life, it's not different. When you're interacting with people, automatically I put myself in their place. Automatically I try to understand why they did that. I don't need to agree necessarily with their choices, but I developed compassion, and I judge less, and I understand more. So for me, acting was self-knowledge, and I'm like, I have to do this. So slowly I became I went to theater school. I became a drama teacher for kids, like 6 years old.
So cute. Oh my gosh.
That was also a wonderful life lesson, because kids teach you to be a kid. They teach you to relax, and my kid grew up back again, and now
they have the best imagination.
Absolutely. So I'm very grateful for that experience. And there was a moment in my life where I had my office as an acupuncturist, and I used to be a teacher, a drama teacher, and both professions, they mixed up, because on my acupuncture sessions, I use my intuition, my ability to, the creative side kicked in. So I had like a tailor-made session. I put music, and it was amazing. And then on the other hand, as a drama teacher, I used my ability to read the nonverbal language, to understand why the kid was upset. So both profession merged. It was amazing. But back to where I am right now, the turning point of my life is in 2013. I did an audition for New York Film Academy to do my master's degree in acting for film, and I got a scholarship. And I'm like, phew, okay, now the universe is presenting me with this big, major opportunity. And I said yes first without knowing how I was going to make it, because I had zero background in the film industry in Brazil. And I wanted to highlight that, because if I was the person who made it, anyone can make it. Because I literally, when I got here in 2014, I didn't know how the film industry worked. And just a side story, I told my mom in 2014, I said, Mom, I got a scholarship. My heart is in LA. I feel like I'm going to go there. And she told me, honey, I'm very proud of you. I've seen it. You're going to make it. And that was our last conversation. She passed away.
Oh.
So she gave me her blessing. She knew, she was proud of me. And I get the chills every time I talk about her, because she's so special in my heart. And I remember telling my dad, I'm like, Dad, I'm going to leave everything behind to follow a dream. He said, honey, I live my life. Go live yours. To have my parents' blessings was essential for me to make the leap, to jump, to take the blue pill and really try this new life. And
That's
of course,
amazing, yeah.
well, they don't have their parents' support, but I think even though they believe in me, I feel like everything starts to unfold the moment I started believing myself. And I'm gonna, like, telling that story about my background, I'm gonna jump into the crazy stuff that happened in the movie set, because right after my mom passed, I composed my first music in the piano. And I'm not even a musician. Like, I know how to play. I don't even know how to write a piano sheet and that kind of stuff. So I did my first composition. And this was in 2014. And my friend told me, this music looks like a soundtrack for a movie. I'm like, sure, okay. So 2 years later, I conclude my MFA in acting for film. So from 2014 to 2016, I decided to do a film in tribute to my mom. How much I'm grateful for her. And I decided to revisit that music. I'm like, let me see if that music can be a good fit for the project. And it was like a perfect match, as if like the music for that film was created 2 years before the film even existed. For me, it was fascinating, like the alignment, the synchronicity. And one thing about this movie, the tribute to my mom, I titled Julia. It's such a special film. It's the reason that I'm here today. When I was writing the script, I had mentors and people guiding me throughout the process. And I received so many critiques. They were like, oh, this is not the right structure. This is not how you write a script. This, that. And I'm like, okay, thank you for your opinion. I respect you, admire, but I've seen this movie in my head. I'm going to follow my intuition, my gut. Like, I'm going to do it this way. And I'm not doing to get any results. I'm doing because my soul needed to tell that story. And I'm glad I stayed with my intuition, because we had so many awards and successful with that movie that I'm like mind blowing. And when I was casting the actress who was going to play my mom, I told myself, like, I don't need necessarily someone who looked like her, but it's about connection. And I had 13 actresses reading the sides. And this one actress in particular, she showed up. She was wearing this blue scarf. And it's exactly the same one that I gave my mom. That is in the story. That is in the script. She didn't even know, because it wasn't on the side. But she showed up with that blue scarf. And I'm like, interesting. Okay, maybe the universe is telling me something. And then we read the sides. We were both crying. And she told me that her mom also recently passed. So we were both grieving. We were both like dealing with our emotions. And she happened to say, oh, by the way, Sabrina, if you want, you can shoot in my house for free. Who does that?
What?
The entire
Nobody.
house.
In LA, nobody.
Piano.
Yeah, wow.
A good story. That's a good point. If you have like a good story that has good intentions, and people are more open to giving you, their equipment or their property, because they're like, oh, they have an emotional attachment to it, as opposed to like a student project or something like, I got
Yeah.
this cool horror movie. Can you let me shoot?
Yeah.
Fundraisers and startup companies. Those do as far as like movies go. If you want to like do Kickstarters raising money, having stories like yours, they do very successful.
Yeah, because it comes from the heart.
Mm-hmm.
It's based on true events. They know the passion involved, and then she said she offered her location, her house, and she happened to have a piano, so I was able to use the music that I composed in the story. Everything was perfect. And crazy thing that happened during the set. So Jaime Torres was there, and I admire him so much.
Oh, Jaime was on set?
He was my
Hi,
Wait, he was your what? He was your AD?
he was my AD.
I can't picture him with a clipboard.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Jaime.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Love you, wherever you are right now. I hope you're watching this. So the martini shot, right? The last scene that we were shooting, the director, it was Christmas time, and behind my frame behind me there was some Christmas lights in the background, and it was blinking. So the director said, Sabrina, can you tell the owner of the house to talk to the neighbor so the lights stop blinking? And I'm like, sure. So I talked to her. She went outside, the lights stopped blinking, we shot the scene. It's a wrap. Everybody was happy. So I spoke to my friend and I say, hey, thank you so much for talking to your neighbor. And she was like, there was nobody there in the house. And I'm like,
Oh, wow.
so how come the light stopped blinking exactly the moment that we were shooting, and then it started blinking again after? Who did that?
Wow. Wow. Oh my God, that's so crazy. I think it was your mom. It was your mom giving you permission to finish.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, sure, honey. You want the light stop blinking? Bling. I mean, like,
there you
I
go.
love it.
Wow, that's amazing.
Now our first
Oh my
ghost
gosh.
stories.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It is.
That's amazing.
Crazy, but I also believe that there is magic happening during the set. Like me as a producer, like you can do all the pre-production meetings and be so ready for the production time, but when it comes to be on set, magic happens.
Movie magic.
Yep.
You roll with it. I usually say, like, if you ever work on features, what I was taught, one phrase I was taught in film school was the movie starts to shoot itself. And it really does. After the first kind of few days, in my opinion, on features, most of the features I worked on, after the first couple days, it kind of starts going in a direction. And as a set, it's kind of like their decision, or director or DP, to continue with that flow. They usually find it, in my opinion, for the most part, but sometimes they don't, and that's when it's like rough edges. But when they do find that like kind of groove after the first couple days, like ironing out everything, it really is like an untangible kind of energy that gets distributed.
That is totally true. And if you apply that to your life, the same.
Yes.
Because then you're in this flow. Then you trust that whatever happens, it's for your best.
Yes.
We might think that it's the problem, but actually is where you need it to be.
Yeah. Yeah. And like Sabrina, like you as a producer, you hire the good people that like connect, and like that alone is like just magic. Like a magic will happen on set when you're all respectful with each other, and like creatively you're all reaching for the right goal. And like if there's any challenges that we do need to overcome, it's like creative challenges, and not like that person yelled at me, he's being so mean, or I'm being ignored, like no one's paying attention to me. It's not that at all. So she hires really good people, and that's really important as a producer, I think, right?
That is my goal as a producer. I'm very picky because I want to.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to bring the right people. I want to bring people that really cares about the story.
Exactly.
Not just for the paycheck.
Yeah.
So don't hire any lighting crew. I'm just kidding.
No.
Oh, when are we getting paid, and when are we going to be there? That's good.
Yeah. When's lunch?
Oh gosh.
But shout out
gosh.
to the Grips.
But see, it's funny because I wasn't planning to be a producer. What happens was, back to the backstory of my life, after my graduation, remember, I came here to be an actress, right? So I wasn't planning to be a producer. And after my graduation, I had my headshot resume. I was ready for the film industry, try it out. And I received a very important no. I was trying to get an agent because that's what you do. Like you do everything by the book, you go get an agent and then you submit for an audition and you be in a show. And this is the traditional route. And this agent, he told me, he was very, not very polite. So he told me,
No, it's usually.
They usually aren't.
yeah, that's their role. But they were like, but listen, Sabrina, you have an accent. You're not going to make it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, thank you for your time. This beautiful accent is who I am. It's my quality. It's not a problem. But thank you so much. And that day I realized that if I want to, first of all, the only person who can say no to me is myself. And if I love what I do, I'm going to keep it doing it anyway.
Okay.
Second of all, if I want to act, if I want to be an actress.
That is Italian?
Well, I'm going to cast myself. What do I need to do? I need to produce my own stuff, create my own voice.
Amen.
And this is a village. You don't do anything by yourself. So what I do, I call Hoodie. I call Jonathan. I call Jaime. I call my people.
And we got your back.
Yes.
And I have a camera now. I have a camera now that you can use. Totally use it. It's a Black Magic. So
fantastic.
Amazing. Yeah, I know. That's why one reason why I got my own camera is to start doing my own stuff. Like when you be on like so many sets that are like bad and like the director isn't really directing, they're picking bad people. Like, like they're shooting 50,000 different angles. They don't need this. Like we're running behind schedule. They're pressuring me to do everything. Like it's just horrible. You're like, I know how to make a film better than they do. And I know people that can help me out. So just make your own things.
Also, like Sabrina said, like hiring the right people is always key. And, going out there and like working with crews, you learn who's best at what to do and who's not going to be. And I just recently did a shoot, sorry, I'm not staying at home, but, I got to make money on the side.
Hey, guilty.
Yeah, guilty as charged too. And, I hit the girl up because we were supposed to do, some pickup days. And she texted me back the other day and she goes, it wasn't sound, but the camera angles that we had, it's a disaster. It's a nightmare. So she wants to go back and reshoot the whole thing again with a whole different camera crew. And it was just like, that's the issue is that she's kind of getting into the industry and she hasn't like really worked with a lot of camera people. So she found out like this person was not getting the vibe and the thing that, she wanted out of her product or project. So now we have to go back and we have to reshoot everything.
That's horrible.
I know.
But that's a big lesson learned, though.
Exactly.
Did she have a monitor? Was she at the monitor?
That's the problem is that she's acting in this too. So she wasn't always behind the monitor. And, when you have the DP directing too, and then, when I was like kind of, talking with him, like, he's kind of new to the industry. He said he's only been here 2 years and stuff like that. And, I feel bad for her because she's got to pay out of her own pocket.
Oh my goodness.
And that's the issue too. And then, so I'll probably talk to her and, try to work out a deal because I kind of feel bad that I got paid and none of the shots we have is usable.
Oh, it's interesting you saying that because you, especially me as an actress, when I'm producing something that I'm acting,
right,
I'm gonna hand the torch to another producer because I want to focus on acting. Otherwise, the quality will be jeopardized. So you don't want to do all those hats at the same time.
You can't. Right. You can't. You start falling.
Yeah. And
but Judy said something interesting. She said that like what a life lesson, you learn about that. And we all had the bad experience. We all had the crazy movie sets. But this is something that those are so valuable because then we know what not to do. Then we know the next one will be better. Like I had this crazy military experience. Like this was in 2016, my first feature film that I was working on, and I was the co-producer at that time. So imagine like this 20-year-older badass producer. I was like, man, I can't wait to learn from her. But she was so mean.
Yeah.
And then he was yelling at me. And I'm like, okay, so I let her vent. I let her go, she was all over the place. And then after she finished her thing, I'm like, first of all, I don't like the way you're talking to me. I understand your frustration. So whenever you're calm, we're going to solve this problem. And she never yelled at me again. But that made me realize, man, I want to be in that position, because I definitely want to bring people who respect each other. Like nobody should yell to nobody in life or in movie set. That's not how you treat people. But that was valuable. That was a lesson for me to, like, either I'm in charge of who is going to be around me, or I'm going to, you know, defend myself and say, hey, this is your limit. You don't treat me like that, you know?
Yeah. Did she yell at you in front of everybody?
Yeah, but then I also, without raising my voice, I said that to her politely. Hey, I don't like the way you're talking to me. So whenever you're calm, we're going to solve this. And it looked so bad on her, because imagine like a 20-year older than me, you know, receiving this message from another person.
Yeah, it's traumatic. It's traumatic. It happened to me. I mean, I wasn't yelled on set. She kind of gave me the cold shoulder. I talked about this in like the very first episode, and I called her a too. It wasn't right. It was very unprofessional.
I never did that.
It was really unprofessional, and she shouldn't have done that. If you have a problem with another crew member or cast member on set, talk about it. Once it communication, guys. Like, we're all human. We're all under stress. We understand that, but like, just like talk to me. Don't like treat me like you can't leave this room. You gotta be ready for the next shot.
Communication is the key. I like to tell that, like, being a producer is like having a dating app, right? It's about mix and match personalities, because sometimes you have someone that is talent, but maybe that personality won't go well with this other guy. So what I do usually, like, let's say the director is the first person that I brought in the project, I ask him, who is your DP? Oh, okay. Then I go to the DP. Who is your gaffer? Who is your
Yes. Go to them first.
Yes, right? So that everybody knows each other. And sometimes even if that doesn't happen, I use my ability, you know, to read people, the nonverbal language, to analyze what would be the good fit. So it is a dating app. And it's almost like a psychiatrist, because on that same movie set that everything was falling apart, this actor, he came to me and he's like, man, this director, he wanted me to do this very emotional scene and I'm not ready. And I'm like, honey, I'm an actress as well. So what I do is I highlight all the scenes that are challenged for me, and I communicate, and I tell my director, I tell my DP, and I say, hey guys, for this scene, I need 10 minutes. I need 20 minutes. So the next day he did that. But on that day, I said, now you're going to trust your director. If he says moving on, it's because he's happy. So you got to trust. And but that's it. Like, it's communication.
Yeah, but did she come straight to you? Did she talk to the director at all? Do you know? Or would she like trust you because you're another girl maybe?
Well, this actor, he trusted me, especially because being an actress as well. So I was talking from an actor to another actor. So I'm like, I know your place. I know how you feel. And this is also something that during my MFA program, especially because I had zero background in the film industry, I wanted to have the holistic vision. I didn't want to just focus on acting. So I want to know, like, what happens behind the camera. So I was on the sound department. I hold the boom, like my arms were shaking. I was on the electrician G&E department. I was a dolly grip. I was a second AC. I was an AD. I was in all those departments, either I like it or not. So I could experience in my body. I could understand how that department works. So now, as a producer,
thank you, Sabrina, so much. Do you know how important that is? Oh my God. Sorry, Charles, go ahead.
Oh no, well, I always respect producers that do those other jobs first, and then go into producing. And I know one producer, he's a king at it, and he held with the car rig. And I've worked with this guy for years. I'm like, I want to see you produce like big things that are like millions of dollars to small commercials. And he was like, yeah, how's the dolly grip? I'm like, I didn't know that. He showed me how. But they have more respect. And when it comes to picking crew and like organizing equipment, I love, because they know equipment, and they're like, wait a minute, we know this location. This location doesn't need 18 feet of track because it can only fit like 2. like I don't know, like 8 feet. And so they kind of make the decision there because sometimes DPs, as you know, Sabrina, I love my lighting people and camera people. Sometimes they get overexcited or they don't know what they're getting into, or they get paranoid, like I don't know what we need, so they'll order things, or they'll get things. And that goes into money.
It's interesting because they go to me, and I go to each department, and I'm go like, hey guys, do you need anything missing in your department? And of course they send me the wish list. They say, I want 20 tapes, and I want photos, and I want that, and I'm like, you don't need all that, but thank you. Then I provide what I know they actually needed, and I keep on the storage some backup, because otherwise they're gonna be waste material or anything. But that's because I was there in that department. But even like on the editing department, that's my zero knowledge. Like, you gotta know a little bit to understand. And even if it's something that I don't know how to communicate on post-production, what I do is like, okay, editor, talk to my sound design, talk to my colorist. You guys communicate. You guys talk your language. Let me know if there's anything you need from me, if there is any problems in the communication between you guys, but you guys have your fun,
That is so important, yeah.
I was going to say, Sabrina's dating app is more like Match.com than Tinder. Like, she's trying to find chemistry and a hookup. Yeah.
No,
it's not a one-night stand. It's a love
Yeah.
connection. Yeah. Oh my God, that's so great.
It's a good
but
business.
Has anything?
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, I think we're going to start that Match.com for film. Be like, hey, this TV is into
like. It was called Grip Doctor.
Are you serious?
What?
Oh, it was a joke on movie set memes, but they actually have a website where it's all like, film people hooking up with film people.
I love that. And then the profile would be the guy holding a C-stand, like.
Yeah. We got those on deck. We got we don't tell anyone, but we have secret photos of Grips doing like model things on.
Get out of here!
Well, the best thing.
You guys saw Set Stories, the website. Set Stories for the People video explains the calendars, the Grip calendars.
Yep.
Thanks to very hot Grip models.
That's so like awkward. Well, speaking of awkward, have you had any awkward experiences on a set, Sabrina?
I mean, I wouldn't call. Oh well, yes. Oh my God, yes, I have.
Here it comes.
I saw it in her eyes.
Oh, this movie. Okay, so I did this movie, and one of my first movies as well. And there is this sex scene that I was doing, but
you were the actor, right?
Hey, let's get it together. So no nudity. It was like a close-up, right? But I had to do the motion as if I was having sex. Guess what? The DP was my ex-husband. And he was on top of me. So this is me laying down in the bed, and he was on top of me like this, holding the camera high angle. And I was doing this initially. And he's like, Sabrina, that's not how we do it. And I'm like, oh shit, it's like this right now, like this. He does that.
Oh, God. I love it. I think I saw that short. It's so cute though. It's so funny.
You are a gangster.
Yeah.
And we are good friends.
Like, shut up.
Yeah.
How would you know? Oh wait.
No, that was funny.
Sex scenes are always awkward. Like
I never like shooting them, man. Like
I understand the art behind it. It's just that sometimes there are some privacy things. Like I remember I had one where it was like a lesbian scene. So and they were actually showing it. So the lady didn't want us in there. So she only wanted like the 2 DPs and AC, and that was it. And
there was 2 DPs.
Yeah. Well, she had the budget.
Different angles, girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you got to get every angle you can.
Up and down.
Well, yeah. But anyways, so she tells me, she goes, I want audio on this, but I don't want you to be in there. And I'm like, well, I don't know how this is going to work. And
Are they naked?
Yeah. So basically that's the reason why she wanted a limited crew in there. So basically they had me rig up a shotgun mic, tie it around a light that's facing down on top of the bed, and walk outside. And then I was like, okay. And then I'm like, I'll hit record. And she goes, well, I want you to stand there and actually hear it and make sure the audio is coming in fine. And I'm like, so you're gonna sit there and have me like listening to women moaning and stuff, and like, you know, the most awkward part, and me and the crew are just sitting in an empty room, and I'm staring at them while I'm hearing this. So it's just,
Oh
yeah,
gosh.
How was it? Can you reproduce for us?
Yeah, can you do the
Yeah.
recreate it?
No,
No, please
yeah,
don't. It's too early in the morning for
yeah.
that.
No, it's
But
not.
like,
It's not too
I haven't
early.
had enough coffee yet, or
There are
oh, okay.
age limits in the show.
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
But like
sex,
Ease myself
yeah,
into
go
it.
ahead.
sex. Actually, recently I heard. I don't know if it's true, but I worked on the last movie I worked on. There was a sex scene like director, and she
Mhm.
was specifically there for the sex scene for their protection
Oh,
for the
yeah,
actor.
yeah, that's a new position
That
now,
was
which I'm
yeah.
kind of like grateful for. Like
Mhm.
even like as an actress like perspective, like
Oh yeah, but
sex scenes are very they should be rehearsed. They should be
Yeah.
you know, like respect they, all this stuff goes into it.
Choreography.
Oh yeah, yeah. And so now there's actually like a person who comes on set making sure that everyone's comfortable. You do it like this or however. But now with the COVID-19 happening, there's not going to be
sex
any more
scenes.
sex scenes
We're
anymore.
gonna go back to
So
the
yeah,
50s,
we can't shoot them anymore.
having separate beds.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
worked
separate. That's
on
going to be weird.
I worked on something, and they did something creative, low key. They needed a group of like a classroom, so they got one actor, and they used a bunch of mannequins dressed up.
No
Uh,
way.
yeah, it was like in a bit. I don't know if it was part of the music video, but I was like, I wonder if this is kind of the thing. And I joked around. I went to the DP. I'm like, is this because of COVID? You can't have real people. They got mannequins, and he's like, ha ha ha, and then walked away.
So no more
Oh.
background actors. It's gonna be
At least for the meantime. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or visual effect. I don't know.
Yeah.
Go write extras out or CG, green screen.
Yeah, I was gonna say they
Oh,
might green screen
God.
people in there. So
Green screen.
How that's gonna look so crazy. That's just
Oh, I
gonna look
know,
so
I know.
nuts.
But speaking on the healthy situation, like because of my background as an acupuncturist, I remember I was doing this project, and on that project I was the producer, and then one day I was jumping in as an AD. Why not? Because the AD was sick, so I jump in.
Mm.
And the actor came to me and he's like, Sabrina, I'm not feeling well. I'm gonna go home. And me automatically, I'm like, thinking about the money that to get the location and the crew. And I'm like, you know, of course, health first, and I care about that person to feel well.
Mm.
But I'm like, I always focus on the solution. So like, what can I do to save us money, but also to make this person to feel better? So I spoke to the actor and I said, hey, I'm an acupuncturist and I'm certified. Would you be okay of me doing acupunctures without needle, which is a technique that I learned, TFT? And he said yes. He trusted me. We went to the backstage, and I did the session. He was feeling well. We went back to shoot, and I'm like, wow, that knowledge, that ability that I had before, it kind of helped us out. So we didn't have
Apply to set life, which is crazy. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
That's what's up. That's what makes good film. You have skills that you can apply to your work.
Yeah.
I mean, like that. That's
Yeah.
honestly like what, instead of just being like you say, like the Match.com. If there's anything I put in Match.com is that, hey, you know, having a medical degree, you know, even though you want to be a camera person, you know what I mean, or a director, having a medical degree, that'll go a hell of a long way.
Mhm.
Just for
Focus
that.
on the solution, guys.
Yeah.
That's
Well, I
So do you
mean,
think
we're
he wants to-
problem solvers anyway. So
Innovators.
Do you think he wants to acupuncture now on set all the time?
Well, my rates will go higher if that is
I
the
would.
package.
Yeah, and there's a kit fee for that now too.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, you have the SIP kit, right? So
Yeah.
I'm part of the SIP kit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It comes in the
Oh my gosh.
That'd definitely be an expendable. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And I'm
That
also, like in Brazil, I used to work with massage, Ayurvedic massage. So that's something that the Genie department would love to have, like
We were just
yeah.
talking about that.
Yeah.
that would be amazing. I would love to receive massage. Not
That
do
could
it.
be some extra.
Dude, back in the day when I was I had an internship when I was like doing like a videographer, and like there were like two other guys with me, and I would always give them massages at the end because we were holding that thing up for like hours and hours and hours. And you know me, I'm a giver, and I just felt bad. Like I would want them. Did they do it to me? No, but whatever. That's because I'm a good masseuse, but
Yes.
yeah,
Well,
it like
I
helped.
didn't experience that, so I can tell if that's true, but
Wait, did I give you a massage?
I don't know. Did
I
you?
don't know. Probably. Do you want one? I can give you one virtually right now.
About the interview, we talk about it.
A virtual massage.
Virtual massage.
Good.
Do you have anything else to add?
I think like for me, my model is always to, trust your intuition, because we are talking about art. Art is so subjective. It's going to be impossible to please everyone. So I think as long as is you, the creator of that project, as long as the message is there, as long as you're satisfied, if you're communicating your purpose, you should trust that. Because even Hollywood Oscar-winning films, it's impossible to have everyone liking that. So follow your intuition, follow your gut. Don't let anyone say no to you, and be respectful. Try to always focus on the solution instead of saying, pointing fingers, who did this, and put energy on the problem. Put energy on the solution. Everybody wants the same thing. Everybody cares for the project. Everybody wants to achieve the same goal, and apply that for your life as well, not only in the movie set.
Yes. And I would just like to say, yeah, love, spread love. But like honestly, like DPs, like you said, Sabrina, like you tried every different position on the crew. I think that's just really important. Like when DPs and like sound usually have this they don't really go well together. Jonathan and me know that very well. I think DPs should like do sound and see what it feels like to be in our position and see how, because then we would work so much better together.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, the lowest man in the totem pole.
Oh no. But like it's just
my set.
Yeah, not on her set. Never.
No, Sabrina's always treated me with respect on set.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's amazing. You're amazing. Do you have anything you want to plug in or give a shout out? Anything that you're working on that you want to say?
Oh, yay. Yes. So
Yes.
a few weeks ago, we, my business partner and I, Raja Deka, go Raja, we launched Touch Alive Productions. And our goal is to create projects to inspire people. This is a powerful tool. We go into people's home. So we want to create projects that touch people's heart, inspire, bring awareness. Not political films, but films that really make people think about life. And that's the model. That's our mission for Touch Alive, even if it's one life at a time. And
if you touch one mind, if you change one mind, you can change the world. Sorry, I saw that in a movie, and it's absolutely true.
And then the goal is like, hopefully with the profit we're gonna make with those films, we're gonna donate to institutions to solve the problems with hunger or health or education.
Wow.
We're gonna revert to
Beautiful.
who need that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So we are.
Do you guys
right now?
Do you guys have a website still, or it's happening?
Touch Life Productions.com.
Touch life.
Beautiful. I mean, I'll definitely put it when I post your episode and stuff like that, and promote this episode. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's really nice. And you're on IMDb. Everyone look her up. Hire her if you can. I promise you will not regret her. Every single film that you produced or starred in has won tons of awards.
Yeah.
Tons of awards. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's because she never gives up.
Yeah.
I became this festival strategist, because then the filmmakers starting to reach out to me. He say like, what do? You're making so many awards. I'm like, well, one, the film is good. The story is good. But B, I also because I was invited to be a judge in different festivals, I understood what was the criteria, what was important when you submit.
What they're looking for. Yeah.
They're looking for. and so it's a mix and match of understanding like the priorities and the things that are important for a festival, but also doing my witchcraft, like using like my intuition. I'm like, okay, I think this is a good festival, and I trust so much like the guidance, like maybe this is not the right time, you know, for this reason or that reason. So I end up creating this service as a film strategist. And luckily the filmmakers who reach out to me, they receive the awards and everything. But I always ask anyone who hired me, I'm like, what is your goal? Like, you just want awards, or you want visibility, or you want to do network? Like, what are you trying to? Because if it's just for the recognition, I don't know, like you should also have a bigger meaning for that. If you want a bigger visibility, then of course, then we're going to spread the word. We're going to work on that. And then speaking on the visibility, like recently I have a couple of short films that like open mic and films that we did. It's on this platform called Filmocracy. And think of Netflix of independent filmmakers. Filmocracy, it's a platform they showcase
Filmocracy.
independent films. And I just did an interview with them recently because they are supporting us, independent artists. And they are creating this platform so people all over the world, they can see it. So that's the goal. We want people to see our projects so they can be inspired.
Yeah, so Open Mic is on there. Open Mic is a film that me and her did. Yeah. That was the first set I met you on.
Sound so girl.
I was a sound working on the stupid Zoom.
On a Zoom?
On like a handy recorder. It was anyway.
Yeah.
It was fine. It was good. I mean, it's won a bunch of awards and like it's amazing. So it's on Filmocracy. That's amazing.
What is it called? The movie?
Open Mic.
Open Mic.
MIC.
Yeah.
It's got beautiful music in it. Oh, he's writing it down. Look at it.
No, I wrote down so much stuff. I always write stuff, just, you know, but Filmocracy, it's Open Mic.
Yes.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Julia is also there. Hey, my motto is I don't rest until I rap.
So I don't give up. Oh my God. You should have that on a shirt or your business card. I'm a producer. I don't rest until we rap.
I'm gonna do that. So let's
That's a rap song, yo. we're rap until you rap. That's the next rap song. We'll put it on the same album as Walkie Check. So.
Yes. And it's so funny that you mentioned rap because last episode or 2 episodes ago, I introduced myself as Slim Shady and no one laughed. But now, like right now.
Yeah, we are going to create this group. Don't worry.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. That's a wrap for today's episode. Don't leave,
that was 40 minutes.
Yeah.
That was a little more than 40 minutes.
Oh, shoot.
But it's all good. Yeah.
You guys are the
Thank
best.
you so much for everyone listening. I know. I mean, you guys can reach us on social media, setstoriespodcast.com. Check us out there. We're also on Instagram at set_stories_podcast. That's with a T, podcast. Please give us a follow. We're on Spotify. We're on SoundCloud. You can find us anywhere. We love you. If you want to be on the show, guys, you can email us or direct message us. We want to hear your stories. We want to hear from production designers, editors, casting directors, everybody. We want to know your stories. We want to get everybody on here. We have an email. You can email us at podcastsetstories@gmail.com. We love you. We'll see you next week. Mwah.